Hey, hey, hey.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Man, how you're such a professional right now.
What's going on, man? You look better. Look
I
good.
am surviving. You know what? There was a point where I was like, is this just my new normal? Is this how my life is just gonna be from now on? But there was a
Sometimes it
moment.
feels that way.
There was a moment where when was it? I was home. I was like, I just gotta go to sleep. It was like 7:45. It was so early. Still feeling sick. I thought I was like done. I was like, I gotta go. And I told Lauren, I was like, I gotta go to CVS. I'm just gonna go chug some NyQuil and then go to sleep. I gotta be honest. NyQuil, taking a bunch, just going to sleep has been the answer in so many cases. And it was here. So I definitely needed to sleep. I needed sleep. It was like because there was a night I had like 2.5 hours of sleep, maybe. It was crazy. So
Yeah.
anyway, sickness is there. We heard Blaze is sick right now. It's going around. It's a tough life.
Yep. Have you my favorite is the NyQuil, Dayquil. There's like the two pack, but they
Mm-hmm.
have they have the one that comes with Vapo Cool.
Oh
Like
no, I don't know this.
it's like got this like what's that stuff like vapor rub, that you rub
Oh
on
yeah.
your to clear so it's in there. So like when you
Mm.
drink it, it just like I don't know. I love that stuff. So yeah, that's my go-to for sure when I'm sick. I try my hardest to just do the Dayquil
Yeah.
only, like
Hmm.
even when it's sleep time, um, because I'll find a way to sleep. It's just more of the congestion and all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I was at a point where like I couldn't sleep. It was just so uncomfortable. The other thing is like the neti pots. You done a neti pot?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, they seem so archaic compared to like what's actually in the store. Because I wasn't planning on it, but I was in the store. I was like, grab my NyQuil, be like, I gotta chug this, and I saw like one of the nasal rinse things, and this nasal rinse thing, it looked. I was like, whatever that is, it looks strong. It's gonna bust my face open. I was like, I need that. So I got it. I was like walking out of CVS, like chugging NyQuil, getting like reading directions for this like nasal cleansing thing. I was like, this is gonna work. Everyone's like, wow. Like so, I got
Dude,
home, I'm like shoving like water up my nose, and I was like, this is it. So, you know what?
nice.
Until the next time I possibly get sick, it's gonna involve me thinking that that is the way, and it might not be. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Should
on
we
it,
should we let Paul know that this is what he can look forward to as his child grows up and goes into the daycare system?
that's what it is. Yeah. I guess it did come from my kids, but my kids didn't seem to get it as like serious as I did, and like I
It's
always think
because they're
about when
stronger
guys.
than you, dude.
I don't know.
They're below 10. They're indestructible. Like, versus 40-year-old. Like, no matter how fit you are and how healthy you are, like sickness is what like levels you, like levels the shit out of you, and you just realize like you don't have that indestructible body and immune system that the kids have. Because yeah, they go through it. They're like, I'm sick,
My
and
gosh.
you're like, I can't get up. Make me eggs.
The only weird thing about this time around, I don't know. I think I want to put this out there to be like, does anyone else feel this? Headaches and like just headaches at like different points around my head was a symptom this time. That was like new to me. Like
Mm.
I'm not really a headache guy. Like I just don't get headaches a lot. Like there's some people who's like, oh, I always have headaches. I just don't really get headaches, but it was just like this headache that kept moving around my brain and then like got behind my eyes, it felt like. And so, but that was like ongoing. It was the thing that I was like, I don't like, what is this? And I think I mentioned this before. I was like, I don't know if I'm still sick and the headache is here, or it's the fact that I haven't been like drinking my usual caffeine
Yeah.
intake because I'm sick. And so like, is this just like, so am I coming down off of caffeine right now? It's one of those tough times, but it's there. Plus I just switching gears a little bit, really hard morning with the almost 4-year-old, not knowing when you have to get a kid dressed.
Oh yeah.
And they know what they don't want to wear, but no clue what they do want to wear. It is the hardest thing. It's just like, stop saying no to, just tell me, like, you can wear a costume, just like choose choose something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now my anger is now going to stop you from wanting to choose something. And it was heightened.
Do you have the ability in those situations, and I know every situation is different, but like to tap someone else in, like, was Lauren available? Was DM, like, was your other one available? Like, 'cause sometimes that's what happens with me. Like in Bentley, I was just like, I'm trying to get him dressed because like I'm here, so I know Amy has to do it all the other days. But if he's fighting me and running around, I'm just like, all right. I'm like, Amy, I'm sorry, but what else can I do that doesn't involve trying to get him dressed? Because he is just not having it right now.
Yeah, for sure. And David, I definitely believe, being sick is the same thing as like feeling as if like taking for granted how healthy you were previously. But it does shake you too. I think it kind of shakes you out of certain things. Like, oh wow, okay, got it. I just need to, maybe I wasn't drinking enough water. Maybe I wasn't, like, my routine's been off. My routine's been off. I know that. But yeah, no, Lauren was here kind of going back and forth. I don't think it's like I don't think we're aware of like the tap in sometimes, but like you definitely know when someone else's energy has to come in there. But it's tough because like, I know that with the 3-year-old, she like finally decided something that she wants to wear. She's like, I want to wear that shirt. Just kind of saying it, but the shirt she wore yesterday. And in my mind, this is how I think. Fine. Wear the shirt you wore yesterday. But then, like, it's almost like I see it in slow motion. Lauren goes, no, that's dirty. I'm like, don't, just let her, like, whatever, just get her dressed. Like, that's like my thinking. So it's like, I think I let myself then get like working, like, no, I don't think your energy is going to work. It's typical. It's okay. This is all just normal. It's all part of it. Makes it really kind of shows you your, like, both ends of the spectrum of your abilities. So
yeah, it's really funny. Like, but I think it's one of those things where it's like we've just been so customized and programmed to like think that like things have to be done a certain way, but like because my daughter, my 12-year-old, does that. Like she wears the same thing a couple days in a row or whatever, or a second day in a row, and my wife and my older daughter, like you can't do that, and I'm like, why? I'm like, they're jeans. Like, do you know that jeans are literally made to like go many, many days like without like you're not supposed to wash jeans like to some degree. Like it's a strong material. And I'm like, in a hoodie, like she's not sweating in the hoodie. She's sweating in the t-shirt, on the bra, on the underwear, like the socks. Change all those things. Change the stuff that touches the stinky part of your feet. But like that'd be like saying like you can't wear the same shoes every day. Like, no, you can't. Like literally most people have to. Like, or like, hey Ryan, you wore that hat yesterday. You got to change it because the head sweat went right into it.
I'm so about making just like in my world, I like, and I'll tell Lauren because like Lauren likes, like, her mind goes towards like fashion and putting outfits together and stuff like that. And in my mind, I'm like, give me 3 different things and I will just rotate through. I'll buy multiple and I don't mind it. I think it's easy. It's just like it's less heavy lifting. I think this is a great discussion too. I've had this discussion before just with and if no one knows, I'm an advocate just within the like the adult ADHD community, which is however you think about it. One thing that's really hard is in terms of like getting dressed every single day. It's just doing the tasks, right? Anything that involves like executive functioning, like down to like the easiest thing that you might think that it is. But one thing in particular is like, just make it easy. There was, right, wasn't it like Mark Zuckerberg who like was like, just, it's like the same outfit kind of thing, or was it, who was it? Steve Jobs? Yeah.
Yeah, the Apple guy.
And like I'm so about it. And then there was like a business coach I had one time, and he mentioned I just buy earth colors all the time, just like earth tones, earth colors, and clothes. Those are the only things I have. So it's like there's less decision on what to buy, how to wear certain
Yeah.
things, and but yeah, it's all these like little things that you have to kind of figure out. But then it's about accepting it and just seeing what's like a societal type of norm. Anyway, good stuff there, man. Sorry I missed yesterday. Any big news come up? Anything different?
I feel like something came up, but I don't remember.
Oh, I
Right
don't know.
now.
I don't know if anything
I
new
saw
come.
Blaze. We all got to see Blaze, but he was like super sick Blaze.
Oh, he
So
was
he
sick
would like,
yesterday.
yeah, he would like pause his video and his thing to like hack up some nastiness and then come back. But he was a trooper. He hung with me and Jason. While Jason and I both uh touted how not sick we were. Um I don't I'm sure there was bangers on top of bangers on top of bangers yesterday, but my brain just does not work like that at all. Uh, Unfortunately.
I'm always thinking what how different is the discussion when I'm not here, right? You always kind of think about like what's the vibe when you're not around.
Yeah. I
I've
think the
definitely
chat was
seen.
firing pretty well yesterday too,
Ooh,
if I remember
nice.
correctly. One of the days, either yesterday or 2 days ago, or maybe both. But yeah, what's today's reading? How did it work for you? Another romanticized story that kind of seems a little. I actually like had a little Ryan moment where I'm like, really? Did that really happen? Like, how could anybody possibly know that's actually what he said?
I didn't. Yeah, 100%. Uh, I didn't see this as like a romanticized thing as much. I just saw this as like a good example today. I'm not saying whatever, if that's how you felt, that's awesome. Um, I didn't see it like this because I guess I could. Maybe I also don't know who Curtis Murphy really is, so it wasn't. I wasn't thinking of like that, but more of the idea here of, I am. If no one did the reading, right? So it's basically all about like we are with our kids. It's an unwavering support, right? And so what the story today was really about was Curtis Murphy and whole civil rights movement, this kind of thing. This was happening down in Nashville with the sit-ins and everything like that. Oh, man, you know what? I feel like a typical um, lazy American. I wish I could like reference at least like a range of years that would kind of been in, well, I'm assuming like the 60s, 50s,
It
60s, kind
says
of in there.
late 1950s.
Got it. Okay. I feel a little better. I got close. But Curtis Murphy is the kid who got arrested, and Buck Murphy is his dad. And so as Buck Murphy was walking down the street, somebody had yelled out something about his son. I forget exactly what the words were, but like, "Hey, how's your son doing in prison?" And Buck Murphy, right, the father, basically responded with, he said, "Wherever he is, I am too." And he's unwavering, right, in his parental support, basically. That's what it's about, right? So I think a great question about this, or yeah, I think a good question about this is, you know, um, have you ever, did you ever defend your child's choices even when you were unsure? I have an example for sure, and I do it often because I've decided this, and I've also said it before too. It's more of a general thing, but Dom, have you ever defended one of your kids' choices and like you either knew it may have been wrong or you were unsure of whether you should?
Mm, I mean, the only thing that comes to mind right now is like literally what we were just talking about Brooklyn wanting to repeat wear clothes,
Hmm.
or we're having a little bit of trouble with her grades, and so she's not really vibing on the teachers, the subjects, and the homework. And I'm just like, look, like at the end of the day, she gets an F in the class. She gets an F in the class. She faces the consequences. She's not a science girl right now. maybe she will be one day, or maybe she never will be one day. But like, I'm kind of like leaning more towards the, you know, Gary Vee school of like, and other people's too, but like, you know, this kind of stuff isn't for everybody. Like the stuff that they're force kids to teach to learn in school,
Hmm.
it's not going to be for everybody. It does create a bit of well-roundedness. It does create like the, you know, the worker mentality of like, yes, sometimes just got to do what you got to do.
Hmm.
But that's really not the way today's world is. Like people can just not do stuff and be successful and be totally fine. So
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I think that grades. I think that there's definitely like way too much put on. I think the general we need to just get A's. And I was listening to something this morning. I'm getting back in my walking routine. I was listening to what was it about? It was about, I think it ended up being like a trainer or something like that, and her parents, whatever's going on. But she said like if you're not first, you're last. Like that was her parents' mentality, especially with grades. And I was like, oh my God. Like definitely we know about that mentality, but I was like, that is almost unnecessary to me, because if you think about like school, there's so many different subjects. If you think about getting an A plus in each class, to me, I'm like, that tells me that you either don't know where your strengths are or you don't know where your weaknesses are. That was my thought. Like it, like where was she best? Is she that well rounded if she's getting A pluses and everything? Anyway, that's not where we're at. I also like what David said. I never thought about Enola Holmes as a good. Have you ever seen Enola Holmes?
I think so. Yes, yeah. It's just been a while.
So there's a second one. I love the first one, and the second one I think I've kind of stopped and started a few times there. And David, I'm trying to kind of bring my head back into this a little bit because I think raising daughters or raising kids, but definitely daughters, because I know that Enola Holmes did not fit the mold of what girls should be during that time, and neither did her mother. And that was the whole thing, right? It was about women, um,
Breaking the
women.
standards.
What's say it again?
Hmm?
Would you said what?
I said breaking the standards. I was just trying to throw some words out there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was good because it was breaking standards, but I think that they were also the resistance. The women were the resistance because they were making bombs. You had to like figure out how to get into like the secret society of the
Ah,
women. If I remember
yes.
right now,
Yep, yep, yep,
I'm
yep,
like
yep, yep.
going back through it in the moment, and so I think Enola had to figure out how her mother thought about the world, right? Because she had to find the clues and get around there. But that's a really good thought. I actually like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Be a good one to watch with the kids.
I feel like I tried, and it's so hard. I've been
Well,
trying to find things that my
my kids
oldest
are a
wants to
little
watch.
my kids are a little older, so
Yeah.
that those are very technical shows. The Holmes kind of
Hmm.
show, the Sherlock series, and all those ones.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Good stuff.
Sometimes shows are hard. Like sometimes I feel like the kids just like they just don't vibe on them, like just because like their parents are recommending. Like my daughter's
Oh,
up there,
yeah.
like my Bailey's like watching a show, like a cop show or something like that. I don't know which one, and she's been watching it for a while, and then she got Amy into it, and then now got Brooklyn into it. I'm the only one that hasn't gotten into it, but like I guarantee you, it would be a show that I would watch. But if I recommended it to her, she'd be like, I don't know about that. Like I think they want to discover their own stuff and not be, which is great, like totally fine. But like at the same time, we know that they're missing out on some real good stuff
Hmm.
you know, by just being like, oh, I'm gonna ignore what my parents say because my parents are boomers.
You're a wonderful boomer. I love you as a boomer. Hey, I have a potential question. I'd love to get some reaction on because I think this is a really good one, actually. As I always try and search for a question that's relevant to what we're talking about.
Go.
Um, I'm always going to pop it up here in the chat, and then we can put it up here. But I tell my kids they can always talk to me, but I worry they might be afraid of my reaction. How can I build the kind of trust where they know no matter what, I'll be there for them? I feel like I say this all the time to my girls, like, I want you to tell me anything. And I do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably something easier said than done. It's definitely something to start and lay the groundwork and the foundation as early as possible. You know, if you have so many years of not doing it, to try to get, you know, into it is another story. On our end of what we do is like, I think my wife has done a great job laying that foundation with the girls. Me, not so much. So at the end of the day, like, as long as one parent has it, like, it means that our girls still have like a safe, like, it's not that I'm unsafe, it's just that at least they have their mother. And like, I don't mind that because I have plenty of other things that I'm involved with my girls. And, you know, Amy tells me what's going on. And if I feel like I can broach the topic with my girls, I do. If I don't, I don't. Like, you know, I would argue that it, with myself, that it would make my connection a lot stronger with my girls. But at the same time, like, I think both me and the girls would say that like we have a really good connection as it is. Like, could it
Mm-hmm.
be greater? Yeah, everything can be greater. But like, I think it's a version of enough, right? Like, there's the word enough is like the trickiest word, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
enough is just what you make of it. Like, you can say it's not enough, and you can say it's enough. It's just how you want to live your life.
Man, that you make me think of a story when you say enough. I guess
Yeah,
who
it's a
knows if
trigger
it's
word.
true. Well, it is because there's the if I think I probably shared this before, but the story of a man in an airport, when you could walk your significant other or your family members to the gate of their flight, and he saw a mother and he saw a daughter, who he assumed was mother and daughter, and they weren't saying goodbye, and they weren't saying I love you. They were saying I wish you enough, right? That's what they said.
Mm,
And they were crying, and and the man was really intrigued, and then he watched the daughter kind of get on her flight, the mom still connected, watching her kind of like walk down the gangway into the flight, and the man's just so curious he couldn't get out, like, what did they mean by saying I wish you enough? It's so different, it's weird. And he went up to the mom and he asked, hey, I heard you say this, what did you guys mean, why do you guys say that? And she said, because I can always say that I love my daughter and love will always be there, but wishing someone enough is more important, because if we go through life always wanting more, we're always just going to be searching, and always searching is the thing that can make us feel more alone than anything. And so I thought that that was I always love that story, because I feel like I'm just like a brooding person, always searching for the next thing. And I always like it, right? Kind of wish myself enough. Um,
yeah.
but it's a good point with your girls. It's like, how much more do I have to get into the trust? Like, how much more trust can I actually get from them? Um, and I like the foundation thing. And what you're kind of talking about, the journey here, what you mentioned, then, and what David is saying over here in the chat too. But like, there has to be a foundation. It's like, okay, like, I'm here, you can talk to me, but I don't need the details. I just need to know that you can come to me to at least take care of the main part of it, right? Are you safe? Do you feel like you have a plan forward, right? Like, that's what I want you to come to me for. It doesn't matter who it was or exactly what the details are, but I just want to be able to help you as best as I can right there, which is it's a good reminder, because I feel like I would end up going towards wanting to get more details there. It was good, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and I mean, the other end of it is like, you know, sometimes the stuff is just weird or embarrassing or, you know, something that's just hard to talk about. I mean, we all have those things that are hard to talk about, and you want to ask, but it's a balance. You want to ask, but you don't want to ask too much, and you want to, at the end of the day, like, as long as you have provided that open space for them, they know they can come to you. The other thing would be that I think I've read somewhere is like, try to make sure that they have other people in their life, like other adults, other kids their age, that they feel comfortable talking to, and give them that space. Like, say, hey, like, do you want to go hang out with your grandma this weekend, or do you want to go, see your auntie, or
Mm.
have you talked to the counselor at the school? Like, what about your best friend's mom and dad? Like, give them other people, because sometimes it's just, especially when you get into those teenage years, um, where it's really hard, some stuff to talk about.
Man, so it's such a great point. It's like maybe we are thinking that we need to have, maybe it's a control thing, that we need to have all of that trust and they're going to come to us. But maybe it's also about trust to know that there are going to be other people that can definitely help them, and that we have to kind of turn our kids away from us because maybe we don't have the best answer, and be like, hey, you know what? I know that you can trust that person. Go talk to them. That's a really good point, man.
And then the other thing I would say about it too is like, uh, don't be afraid to talk first. So like, don't be afraid to, like, even if you don't know what it is that they're going through, like, don't be afraid to, like, share stories about your awkward moments and the things that
Hmm.
you dealt with as a kid, because that's the other thing. Like, I think we've talked about this many times, is that, like, we all think that we're the only people going through what we're going through, but we all go through the majority of the same stuff. Even our kids, like, it's 20 years difference, 30 years difference, depending on the age gap between you and your kid.
Hmm.
But and times have changed and all that stuff, but like, we still had boy girl problems, we still had awkward bo problems, like, we still had, like, all this stuff. So it's like, if you just start the conversation with, like, wait, when I was high school, like, it was super awkward because I really liked this girl, and like, I didn't know how to tell her, and da 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 da. And it's like,
Hmm.
wait, you did that shit too? And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, wasn't always this awesome boomer dad. Like, what are you talking about? And I think that's a good way to build the trust and the foundation with them, is like, let them know more about your life, like, before kids, like,
Yeah.
especially in the age of where they are.
Hmm.
Um, they might be shocked to see how many similarities there are.
Yeah. It reminds me too of someone said that the best way to help someone else out, I think it was in the context of men helping men, but the best way to help another man out is to ask for help yourself, to
Yes,
show men that you definitely can. I think that maybe we're not asking for help from our kids, obviously, age appropriate, and like how much are you going to put on a kid's shoulders, but I think that is definitely a really important point to definitely talk about. I know we're at the top of the hour. Good discussion on that, actually. I like this. Want to share some gratitude before you go, though, if you didn't already?
um, yeah, my gratitude was, I had my standing um, Thursday lunch date with my buddy, and then he invited two other people that we know, so it's just the four of us crushing pizza and beer, and it was some good chatter, good talk. Like, they are really big in the real estate game, and that's something that, like, I eventually want to get into. So it's just good to, like, put myself in a room with three people doing things on a level that I want to eventually do. And so it's just, just a good time.
It's nice, man. I always love those discussions. There's like a little bit of a uh like when it comes to real estate, or sometimes just like investing in general, there's like a little bit of jealousy comes up. It's like, oh man, like why didn't I get in sooner sometimes, right?
Yeah,
So
for
it's tough to be
sure.
in those conversations, at least for me, because I'm like, okay, gotta let this jealousy like like fall away so I can actually like listen in and kind of be here in the moment. You know what? My gratitude right now, I was thinking about it as I was walking today, and it's kind of what David actually brought up earlier, just about just being grateful and being aware of how my body feels when it's definitely healthy, and then when it's not. But you know, to be able to get up, not have a headache, be able to move my body a little bit more, it definitely gave me perspective again that I definitely needed. So it was definitely needed for me to take that in. So
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right, guys. February 7th. We're getting through this. We're getting through
In the
this.
bag.
Love you,
I
man.
think so. Today's Friday. So
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm not sure, but we'll try to figure tomorrow out. But you might see me in a Lego themed hotel. I'm gonna try to get on here.
That's awesome. You've been holding down the fort. So appreciative. You've been starting these streams every morning. It's been huge. It's been really good. Look, I've been trying to build this living wall out over here, and it's been
Nice.
a bit. And so I didn't realize I hung those first two so high, but that's okay. I finally got this other one here. It's been my goal. It's been my goal. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep that going. So we'll see.
Very awesome, man.
All right. Well, have a great Friday, everybody. Mugs full of coffee, hearts full of gratitude. Blaze, feel better.
Did you see Blaze in the chat?
No. If he's listening.